Hello, welcome to Birdsong Knits episode 6. This is a little bit of an impromptu recording for me just because I happen to have a few minutes and I've been wanting to record for a few days. So I have a minute, not sure how many minutes, also not sure that I have enough phone life. So I'm gonna keep things moving today. So this is a knitting podcast, knitting, crochet. Those are the main crafts right now, so hopefully you're interested in those things, and if so, stick around. If you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back, and if you're a new viewer, welcome. So I'm going to start with finished objects, and my first is also what I'm wearing today. So this is my Cumulus O-neck blouse. Yeah, Cumulus blouse O-neck by Petite Knits. So I talked about this in my last episode and I was worried I was going to run out of yarn. I definitely didn't have enough to finish it. But I had talked about doing some color blocking and finishing the sleeves and the body with black to make it the full size. And like a black different yarn because this yarn is discontinued. This is Stacy Charles Fine Yarns in Ella, and it was in the color 3 Jade. There's not much left here. I did write down how much I had left. Let's see, was it 11 grams? No, I have 5 grams left. So maybe I could have gotten another round on the body. Maybe even 2. I don't know. But it's so hard to know. It's an I-cord bind off, so I just knew I was going to need a fair amount of yarn to finish it off. So I played yarn chicken and won, but had a little left over. So I opted to shorten the sleeves and shorten the body. I'll put a picture of me wearing it rather than standing up right now, but I didn't do the full length. So it said to knit for my size. I knit the size medium. So on the sleeves I only did 6 decrease rows, and then actually I did more than that. I put the details in my project so you can see exactly what I did, but yeah, so I recorded exactly what I did to shorten the sleeves. Maybe you don't care. Then it's finished with an I-cord bind off, which I liked. I would have liked to have had it a little closer, a little tighter than this when I bound off the sleeves, but yeah, it's okay. It's fine the way it is. And the body, I think I lost almost 4 inches on the body, but I still like the way it turned out. And I was originally thinking it would end up so cropped that I would wear it with dresses, but it's pretty oversized, and which doesn't look great. Maybe it would have looked great. I don't know if it was more cropped, but it's too cropped. It's too long to wear over dresses, for at least for me. My waist is so much higher that it didn't hit in the right place ultimately. So that's okay. I'm happy with how it turned out. It's a very comfortable to wear. It's very cozy. And I think I'll wear it through fall, and I think I'll probably wear it even in winter. I could even wear like black, long sleeve shirt under this, and I would feel okay about that. So I'm wearing it with pants. That's the ultimate. Like I tried it on with dresses, tried it on with pants, and pants was the way to go. And I looked at everybody else's projects online, and it seemed like everyone was wearing it with pants. Probably because it was a longer sweater, but anyway, I'm happy with how it turned out. I didn't know if I had enough yarn going in. I didn't have enough yarn, but it turned out just fine, and I'm glad I started the project and finished it. So this took me a while to knit because, so I started on May 12th, finished it on August 10th of this year, 2025. Once I realized I was for sure did not have enough yarn and it was discontinued, I had to put it in timeout and think about what I wanted to do. So yeah, I ordered the yarn to do black, but I didn't end up using it, and that's just fine. So that's my first finished object. Second finished object, I think, was a brand new project as well. It's the Bubbles baby blanket. This is my second one. I did a pink kind of girly baby blanket maybe a couple episodes ago I finished it, and it was for charity, and I think this will also be for charity. So this will end up being my number 6 item for to donate to Lurie Children's Hospital in honor of my son's 6th birthday. So it'll be nice to donate 6 items, which was kind of my goal. I was thinking it would be with other people, but I ended up making so many that I made 6 my own, and my friends and family will also be donating, which is very nice. So I made this in 2 days. I started on August 11th, finished on August 13th, 2025. This pattern, now I've made it twice basically this month, and it is this month, I think. I really, really like it. So the pattern is the Bubbles Baby Blanket by Deneen Saint Amour. I know why. So I cast on or chained, I think 6 additional stitches than what she recommended. This is a free pattern. It's so easy, it's so fun. It's a 1 pattern repeat or 1 row repeat. It's so fun. And it turns out so squishy and lovely. I highly recommend it. Plus it's with chunky yarn. It just works up so fast. So I did 6 stitches more than the pattern calls for, but I used 1 hook smaller, 1 hook size smaller. So I used an 8mm L instead of a 9mm M/N. And I did that because I just felt like the other one was like maybe a little too holy. It was nice and drapey, but this is still nice and drapey too. I feel good about having used the L, although it did turn out, even though I added the 6 extra stitches, it was still too small for, no, it's still smaller. Hers in the pattern turned out 29 inches wide, and mine's only 26. It's great for crib, car seat. It's honestly just fine for anything. It's great baby blanket, and this is my only true baby blanket. I didn't say this at the beginning because I'm trying to keep moving, but I'll tell you about the yarn in 1 second. It is 7 o'clock at night. So the lighting is very different, but I was just trying to fit it in when I had time, and I don't know, it's a cozy evening at home, and it seems okay that the lighting's not the same, so hopefully it's okay with you and we can all see the colors and stuff okay. I have my lights, but it's not the same as having some sunlight too. So anyway, this yarn was in my stash. So happy to have used it because, and almost kind of for what I originally was making a knitted baby blanket with this, and I had made 3/4 of it, stopped for no apparent reason, and I couldn't find the pattern. I couldn't figure out what I was doing. I had to frog it. So glad that it ended up a baby blanket, and it's been used. It's really soft and lovely. So it's Cascade Yarns 128 superwash. It's 128 yards in 100 grams. The gray is the color 900 charcoal, and the white is 871 white. So yeah, I think it turned out really nice. It is 26 inches wide, and what did it turn out lengthways? 35 inches long. So it's more like a crib shape, you know. So anyway, I'm happy. I'm happy to have made 6 projects for charity, and I am happy to have used that yarn, and it was so fun to make. When it was done, I was sad. I just wanted to keep crocheting, which will show up later in my projects. I have cast on some things. So I was supposed to be next finishing. I mean, one goal was to finish this sweater. Check. Second goal was to work on this sweater, and I did work on it, but I'm not super enjoying stockinette on a cardigan, because I have to purl. I just don't love purling. I'm still going to do it. It's not even that many rows because it's a crop sweater, so it's not that big of a deal. But I did find that I wasn't loving the gauge. I'm going to try and get it close. See, it's just too airy and open for me. So I'm going to go back to a few rows after the lace Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm going to go back to a few rows after the lace, and I'm going to go down hook size, needle size. So these are US 4s. Yeah, 3.5 millimeters, but I'm apparently going down 2 3s. Okay, maybe I shouldn't, because I'm kind of feeling fine about the size. I think it's going to work out fine. I feel like my sweaters always turn out too big anyway, so it'll probably be fine. Did I do a gauge swatch? Nope. And I'm wondering if this yarn, it's cotton and cashmere. It is 10% cashmere, 90% cotton. I'm just wondering if it will bloom at all. I don't know if cotton does that, and I don't know if cashmere does that. Yeah, I'm giving that some thought. Worst case, maybe this is what I should try first. So you can see my stitching is uneven for the knit versus purl rows. So you can see every other row is a bit bigger. You know, you can see the gaps between those rows. And it's going to just show up so much in the cotton. It's not that big of a deal. I don't think it's noticeable on the front. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. What do you think? Oh, I just don't like how open it is and airy. I love the lace. It's going to be beautiful, but not loving it for the rest. I might do the trick where you use a smaller needle on the purl for the purl side. So those are interchangeable needle. Actually, they're not, but that's no problem. I could switch to my interchangeable Chagus. I always use Chagu red lace for everything I can. I love them for all projects. Anyway, so I might do a 3 on one side, attach a 3 needle and a 4 on the other one. And so when I'm knitting, I'll be knitting with the 4, and when I'm purling, once I flipped it, I'll be purling with the US 3. So maybe I'll try that first and see if I like the gauge a little bit better. And then, yeah, I could even do a gauge swatch now and just see what it looks like after it's washed. Kind of feeling like I'm going to make that little needle change and just power through. And I think it's going to be just fine when I wear it. So if you have any experience with garments in cotton or cotton cashmere blends, let me know what you think. It seems like a US 3 is going to be a bit small, but probably the issue is my purling. I do purl loose, so that's probably the issue. I started that on July 23rd. Most likely I will not be wearing it until summer 2026 or spring, but that's fine. I have other things I want to work on, and I'm not too worried about it. So, oh, that yarn, that cotton cashmere yarn was it Cotton by Katia? Something by Katia. Concepts by Katia. Concept by Katia. Cotton cashmere, and the color is 74. I always link my Ravelry projects down below. I keep notes. I keep my yarn project, like pattern, everything in the project. So I'm sorry if I miss anything, but please check the description. I was just thinking, how many project bags have I missed? I don't know where this project bag is from. I think it's meant to be a purse. I think it was a gift. I love it. It's one of my favorite knitting bags. It has pockets all around the front. I don't think there's any tag anywhere on this thing. It's fabulous. It's kind of like a Vera Bradley. It's not a Vera Bradley. It's a knockoff, I'm sure. But that's the idea. So I guess it's not super helpful for me to show that one, but I will say that is an awesome bag. This one is the Fiber Co. It's a wax canvas bag. Probably one of my #1 sock bags. I bought this at Woolen Company in South Elgin, Illinois, and I use it all the time for socks. So if I have a pair of socks going, it goes in that bag first. So, okay, these socks are so fun. I think I did talk about them in Dream Knitting. And where is, sorry, one second. It's this one. Sorry. Okay. This is Mint Rain yarn. The color Police Box. Self-striping. It's twist sock. 80% merino, 20% nylon. Okay. That's the yarn. This is the Heel Toe Do-Si-Do pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady Designs. Oh, it's fun. I wasn't too sure at first. I was like, all right, so I cast it on, did the ribbing. She does is this a twisted rib where I knit through the back loop and then purl? I haven't done that before. It was fun. It looks different, which is interesting. And I probably should have done her German twisted cast on. I know there are better looking cast ons. I always do the long tail, and it's fine. But when it can look more finished with some of the others. So only the front has the pattern. It's really fun, but it is written like literally stitch by stitch across. There's no repeat on this front panel. So when I was first reading it, I was like, how am I ever going to remember, 32 stitches worth? You don't do the pattern on the back. So this is what the self-striping yarn would look like without the pattern. But by the second or third row, I was like, oh, I don't even need the pattern. I'm just going to read my knitting. It's so easy. So this is an easy pattern. I love the way it looks. It's so fun. It's like a zigzag. It's not really a feather and fan. It's like a zigzag, I guess. I think I've been distracted by other things. I mean, this is a new cast on in the last week, so I've made some progress, but I've been working on other things too, so it's just not as much as maybe it could have been, but I do really enjoy working on it, and those will be done in no time. All right, then I decided to start a crochet blanket. And I have talked about this in the past as well. This was in Dream Knitting. So not as a project, but as a Dream Knitting, I've talked about it. And I did start the project. I want to say cast on, chained on, I don't know. I started the project. I keep doubting, is this actually what I want to make, or do I want to do the Battenberg blanket? This is just, in fact, I do have a pattern name. Okay, it's the Marled Crochet Chevron blanket. There's chevrons. That's what the socks do, chevrons. Zigzag chevron, yeah. So this is all I've done so far, and I'm more excited about the other blanket that I cast on because this just doesn't have the colors added in yet. But I do have all the colors. I wound up all my 20 mini skeins. I showed the mini skeins on a previous podcast. They are from Gem State Yarns. This is Knit Picks Stroll Fingering Baron dyed. And I have made a blanket with the same yarns, not the same mini skein colors, but the same yarn combo before, and I showed it last time. I did change one thing. I used the same stitch count, not the stitch count from the pattern, but the same stitch count I had for my previous blankets. So I both times have taken off 54 chains from her original stitch count. So yeah, so I took, and which I think is 2 repeats. So I took off 2 repeats just to make it a little more narrow, but I did go up a hook size. So the last time I did it, which the pattern called for, I did an H, and this time you won't be able to see that. I barely see it. Anyway, this is an I, 5.5 millimeter. So I went up to an I. I chained with a J, and then I'm completing the project with an I, because even though I really like that the material doesn't, crochet can have a lot of holes in it and stuff like that, my previous blanket doesn't have that at all, but it is just a touch stiff. So I'm going up to an I. It will be bigger. I will use more yarn. I will probably need another mini skein set. So I wound up 20 so far. I have another 5. Well, I have another. Okay, I have 5 10 gram 10. I have 5 sets of 10 10-gram minis. So I have 50 10 gram mini so far. And I have another 10 gram mini set coming from Gem State Yarns. There were two that I had that I decided were not the right colors. Took those out, added one. I might end up needing 7 or 6, I guess. I used 5 on my last blanket with the H hook. And I think just to make it, the right length and having that extra width, I think I'm going to end up needing at least 6. So 60 10 gram minis, or maybe even more. I don't know. I don't care. I can order more. She's in business. It's not discontinued. The knit pig stroll is easy to get. So I'm just going to make and make and make. And then when I feel like, I know what I need, then I will order more. I'm going to show you this bag, but I'm not sure if I have any of the details on it. I'm pretty sure this was no, I bought this at, I bought this at Stitches a long time ago. There's no tag on it. Not super helpful. I do like to put my bags in here or bigger sweater projects. It's got a wonderfully thick lining. I just really like it. And it's got a long strap, so it's a long adjustable strap, so I can wear it how I like it. So, and it's nice and big to hold several skeins. So I only have one set of 10 gram minis in there right now. And the others are just, I kept them in their groups so I can keep the sets together as I crochet, and I just have them set aside in bags for right now. Okay, so I cast that on. Then I'm going to show you another pair of socks. These are in the bag that my mom made me, which I've talked about before. This is a knitting and walking bag. So it has a strap to go around my waist. It has a pouch in the back. There is no pattern, but in the example I showed her, that pouch was in the front, which does make it easier to get to when you're wearing it, but it just kind of looks better in the back. So that's where we put it, and I just adjust as I need to get to it when I need to. So I cast on a pair of socks, and I finished the first one. I'm calling these the Alice socks. Why am I calling these the Alice socks? I think it's a colorway name. Hey. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. So sorry. Yeah, it's called, it's from Wonderland Yarns and Frabjous Fibers, Marianne. Anyway, the colorway is Haunted Dreams, which is, I don't know, kind of an interesting colorway name for this. It's so pretty with the blues and pink speckles, and yeah, it's a really nice color. It's got pinks and purples and like grays or taupe, maybe it's taupe. And then I found this pink. I had already done I was in progress on the cuff. Okay, 20% battery left. That was only 5%, and I'm almost through my projects. This is gonna be a short one, and I'm doing good. Okay, so I was partway through the ribbing, and then I found I was looking for minis for a different sock. I think for the police box socks, and I didn't find one, so I got to figure out what I'm gonna do for the heel for that. Anyway, but I found this pink, and I was like, ooh, that matches perfectly. So I added these stripes, did the heel, did the toe. I have plenty of this. So one is done. Just vanilla, because I wanted something to knit in the dark when my son is falling asleep. Can you hear the thunder? You probably can't, but it's thundering. Yeah, I don't super love to wear vanilla socks. So I keep knitting these vanilla socks because I can knit them in the dark while Michael is falling asleep. But then I just stuff them in a bag, and I'm like, someday I'll give these to whoever wants some socks, and they'll probably fit them. I feel like they're somewhat flexible, but there's 64 stitch vanilla socks. I don't know. I like to have some kind of pattern, like the blueberry waffle or the Hermione everyday socks pattern, something that has some knits and purls so that it cinches it more on my leg and foot, and that feels more comfortable to me. But anyway, this is Knit Picks, I think. I didn't write it down because I don't actually know. pretty sure this is actually Knit Pick Stroll in a pink. I didn't have the label, so I did cast on the second one today. And then my son and I went walking at my gym. They have a track, and we went walking there for a half hour, and I knit while we walked. So that's what I got done. Okay, I think that's everything on that. I don't think I have the label for this. Yeah, I do. It's in here. Okay, I'm reading this Frabjous Fibers Mary Ann from my from when I pulled it up on Ravelry, but on here it just says Wonderland Yarns Mary Ann, which would be the base name, I think. And then the colorway is 2000 Haunted Dreams. Sorry, that's not easy to read or see. Hand dyed by Frabjous Fibers. It's so hard to say. So you see that? Frabjous Fibers. Anyway, it's a fun colorway, and I'm glad I pulled it out of my stash and knitting it. And last but first, because it's the last one I'm mentioning, but it is my favorite project right now. I'm just putting this label away real quick. Did I cast it on today? I cast it on last night right before bed and did one row. And it's pretty much all I knit on today. And I forgot I have my school books in here. That's why it's so heavy. Let's get that out of there. This bag is also made by my mom. It was a gift quite a while ago. It's an awesome bag too. I'm going to show you the bag and then I'll show you the project. Isn't that cool? It has a base, a box bottom, but then she also put an insert in it so that it's really quite solid. Guess I'll drag this out. So it sits on the bottom and keeps it sturdy for me. Has pockets on the inside. It's just a snap closure. My mom doesn't sell these. I'm sorry. Because they're wonderful. She's an incredible bag maker and just for family and friends. And she makes these amazing quilts. So she's a very talented seamstress. And I'm lucky because she makes things for me. I do make her a lot of socks. Made her hats and scarves and stuff. She's very knit-worthy. But anyway, I digress. So this is probably not a new to you pattern. I'm right in the middle of a row. But it is the Cozy Comfort Throw by Molly of a Homespun House. You know what's really doing it for me is the yarn. I mean, not her pattern is great, but her pattern is so simple that it kind of depends on the yarn how much you're gonna love it, right? Back in my first episode, you might remember the crochet blanket that I made, Granny Stripes blanket, and the main color was Surefoot Sock, Knit Picks Surefoot Sock Bare on Dyed Yarn. Just this. Wow, yeah, you can see the halo a little bit, right? I can see it a lot in person looking into the light, so I'm just kind of wondering if I can tip it anywhere. You can kind of see it there. It's not huge halo, but it has some because it does have mohair in it. Darn. I don't have it. Let me click on this and I'll be able to tell you what the yarn content is because I'm forgetting. So it's 40% wool, 40% mohair, and 20% nylon. It's incredible. Like, it's just making this, like, it's so squishy. So I'm really enjoying this. And it is just knit, 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 right? It's garter. I'm curious. Tonight I might try. I'm curious if I can knit on this while my son is falling asleep. Can I knit on this in the dark? Normally I would say, of course I can, because it's just knit. But it is held double with another yarn. Isn't that pretty? That's a Yarnival. I'll show you that one in just a minute. But yeah, so I'm just worried I'm going to end up splitting these, right? And if that happens when I'm knitting in the light, I might feel it or notice it and catch it. But I've been knitting it on all day. I've been knitting while I read. I took it to a meeting tonight. I knit away on it, and I looked at it very little. So I think I'm going to give it a go. I want to get a little pen flashlight or like one of those really teeny little lights that you just kind of squeeze and they light up for a second. There's like a small beam, right? Super small beam. Because it would be nice to have one of those to quick make a fix while Michael's falling asleep. I don't think that would be disruptive to him. But turning on my phone flashlight is so bright, which is great for emergencies. I understand why it's bright. And then, even if I had like a little flashlight that, the beam was like, if like the lens was like that big, I still think it would be shining too much in his room. But there's some with those teeny tiny beams, and I think it would help me catch any mistakes. Like if I'm like, oh, I could feel that something odd happened, I could quick fix it and not disrupt him at all. So, all right, so this is going to be a scrappy blanket. I do not have many sets. I have no like full skein that I'm repeating or anything like that. I'm purely grabbing out of my scrap bin. I am going to primarily work from my sock scrap bin that is 20 grams or greater. I'm guessing this was close to 50 grams. And I think I'm going to knit the whole thing at once, which would make this section probably twice this big, honestly. I might only be halfway through that skein. So the question is actually, so I could do that. I could split it and use this again in the blanket, but honestly, I think I'm just going to knit it how it is. And it might have some bigger and some smaller sections. A lot of my socks, I have close to 50 grams left over, but at least 40. And so the pattern, maybe I'll insert a picture. Pattern calls for 20 gram mini skeins, and you knit the whole thing, and that's probably close to this. Well, she said, I feel like the repeats 7 rows or something. It's way more than 7 rows. I've probably done 20, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, I've done 16 rows. So, but I feel like maybe I've used 20 grams. Anyway, doesn't matter. I could have weighed the yarn beforehand, thought about it, was too lazy to do it. I was sitting and knitting, and that's all I wanted to do. So I did say I would show the yarn. So this is Yarnable. It was, which one was that? December 2023, and this is called Frosty Sock. I made socks with it at some point, and then I had these leftovers. I used the contrast mini skein for heels and cuffs, or heels and toes at least. I'm also wondering if I made Michael socks with these. I'm kind of leaning towards I did. I'm pretty sure I can picture the socks. So I'm pretty sure this might even have more. I should weigh it now and see how much I've left. I don't care, I think, is where I'm at. Like, it can be scrappy. I can kind of, I'm not going to use self-patterning yarn. I might use self-striping. I don't know. But I could kind of stick to tonals and speckles and even solids maybe. But, definitely skipping self-patterning, possibly skipping self-striping. We'll see. So I can, be somewhat intentional about the colors and the yarn that I put in, but I think I could, ideally, I would be using up the yarn that I put into here just for the sake of using up my scraps. This blue is so pretty. I'm really enjoying this. So that's that. I started 2 new blankets, 2 new socks, and still have a sweater to finish. So those are all of my whips and all of my finished objects in the last week. I'm not going to do books today, although I really want to tell you I finished Howl's Moving Castle and it was so good. And I'm reading the second one now, which has part of it's kind of using the Aladdin storyline. I mean, it definitely is. And then it's tying it into some of the characters from the first book. So I'm enjoying it. Um, so I said I wasn't going to talk about books. That's all the books I have to talk about anyway. So there we go. I talked about books. And my life update isn't too interesting, although I will just say that we're going to be busy next week. We're visiting friends, or at least part of my family is. So I won't. I mean, it's possible I could record next week, but we'll just see how it goes. And then it's time to start school for Michael. So we homeschool, which means it's also time to start school for me as the teacher. So I'm looking forward to it. He's not, but you know, it's summer as a kid. I get it. So it'll be fun. I think once we get going, we have a lot of fun. So, okay. I apologize for any information I forgot to give you. Like I said, check the description box below because I will link all of my projects and they will have all the details. And thank you for joining me and chatting with me on this rainy evening. For me, it's still thundering. I heard the rain for a while. So it's just a cozy evening at home. And I'm going to get back to knitting. Okay. Have a good one. Bye.